There's no way I'll get it fixed today. It's gonna take me a couple days to fix this. It's messed up. Mistakes made and lessons learned. I had to do some repairs twice. So watch till the end so you can see my mistakes and my fixes. So stay tuned. Did you ever have those months that just nothing seems to be going right? Here I am in front of my Kubota here again, my B&X, and we've been doing a lot of excavating with it. We took out, I don't know, 7 stumps or so, moving a lot of dirt and stuff, and we noticed something yesterday that needs to be fixed right away. Well, let me show you. Well, here's the front bucket, and if you go up here to where the cylinder attaches, right here, you see this crack. That is not good. The crack goes from there, and you can start to feel it underneath, down there. So it's a little bit over or about halfway. I'd say a little bit. The other side looks okay. No problems. So apparently this side has been taken a lot. Even the inside weld on this side here still looks good. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to weld that up. And that's gonna involve a lot of work. I mean, I'm probably gonna have to brace this up as I take some of these cylinders off. Well, we know we take this one off. This bucket's gonna fall. I need to brace it up. If I take it up, I'm afraid I lose pressure and everything, and not only the bucket, but the whole arm assembly falls down here. That this loses pressure too, so I'm gonna have to block it all up and start taking things apart. But first thing I think I'm gonna do is try to lift it up high enough to take this cover off here. Now if you look, this protection cover here is not on very good. Looks like a pin there, a pin on the other side. Right there, and then a pin there, and it looks like that whole plate will come off. That's what I'm gonna do first. This is my answer to hold it up. I don't know where these are going to hold it. I'm not going to be pushing down on it. I'm kind of hoping it will just hold the weight of this bucket. It should probably make sure the bucket's flat as I come down. I wouldn't recommend holding it like this to anybody. It'd be really nice if I had a lift or a ceiling jack or something that I could hook up to the ceiling, a hoist to pull it up, but I don't have one. I'm going to take it down without any pressure from that, so we'll see how it holds up here. It is concerning. Seems good and solid. Okay, that looks like that's going to hold, and that still gives me enough room to weld. Now I got to decide whether I want to take off these cylinders or what. This project is going to take a lot of grinding, so stand by. I don't know whether I have to take this cylinder off at all. I might just leave it on, but I am going to have to take these hoses off at some point to get to the back here, to get underneath. I don't know whether I have to move those. I'll try not to. But let's get grinding.
Now, I'm not going to tape all the grinding. The idea of the grinding was just to get rid of the old weld, to expose the crack in the pipe real well, so I can make sure that my weld sticks to the pipe and not to the old weld. So it was a lot of grinding.
Now, it looks like the crack in the pipe is going to about this area, so at least it didn't go the whole way around there, which is good. It's almost like this thing got really shoved that way or something. Not sure. Looks like now I'm gonna have to start taking the cylinder connections off so I can get up inside there like that. Not gonna be the easiest thing to grind, but I don't have much choice. Okay, my first guess was an 18 millimeter would work, but it feels a little bit too loose. So I went ahead and tried some Americans, and it looks like it's 11/16. Now, this is where I have to be careful. I certainly don't want this to fall on me. I don't want anything to, you know what I mean. I expect some pressure on that. Or limited pressure, I guess. I do have a bucket to try to catch some of the fluid so I don't get it all over the floor. I'm going to go ahead and let it drain off. I'm going to take the other end off too, for the simple reason I don't want it getting in my way anywhere. Then I'll have to take this other one off because it's right there, and then that gives me a nice area to grind. These are steel. I still have to be very careful of those. If I grind those, I'd have to purchase those. They're on a clamp here. If I take this clamp out here, they should drop down maybe enough where I can get them out of the way. I guess we'll see. Like I said, I don't want to break anything up. That was nice, thought about taking this cylinder off, but I really don't see any need because I have to take the fittings off anyhow. So I might as well just take that off. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Okay, I got it ground out pretty good. I try to bevel it as much as I could. It's not the easiest to try to bevel. Let me see. It looks like I can get it. See, this is why I didn't take the cylinder off. It wouldn't have made no difference. That is still in the way no matter what I do. Looks almost like by this. Maybe, no, that's ground pretty good. And now we're gonna, looking at it underneath that crack right there, I need to do a little more grinding there. I measured a bucket at 3/16 inch steel. I'm assuming this is about the same. Don't really know for sure, but that's what I'll go with. If you look at my gauge, I'm using flux core, 30 diameter of wire. So if I go on over to 3/16, so my settings is going to be 4 and 50. I go over here, 50 is the wire speed and 4 is the heat. So that's what I'm going to try. I'll weld some test pieces first.
Test pieces seemed all right, and that's when I actually started welding on the equipment. I did okay on when I was welding flat, but once I got on the vertical there a little bit, and then later on the overhead, that's really where my lack of actual welding experience really showed. And I actually had to stop and get a look on YouTube to see how to weld better, especially overhead. It was looking bad. I did a lot of time I would weld, and then I'd have to grind the weld up. I also missed the spot I was trying to hit a lot of the times. I couldn't get in the crack because I couldn't see very well. My mask on was getting to be in pretty bad shape. I've had it for a few years. A lot of splatter over top of it, and it was real foggy, and I couldn't get it clean. And I just couldn't see very well either, and that certainly didn't help me. And another problem I was having while I'm trying to weld overhead was the splatter coming down on my arm, burning them. And also on my head. I could have used some proper equipment, but like I said, mostly I've been a maintenance, just a flat welder. But, you know, don't ever give up and give new things a try.
Well, I'm going to call it as good enough of a weld job. I did watch some YouTube videos on how overhead welding. I had a heck of a time. I actually had to turn up the heat and the wire feed in order to get it to stick down below. This job looks a little bit like bubble gum, but I'm hoping it holds. If not, you know what? You take it apart and you do it again. So we'll see if this holds. I did learn a little bit about some of the, there is a flux core cone it fits on that I didn't have, that I went and got one. That way I was able to see better, especially at those angles where it was tight. It did make my weld look a little bit better. Now I'll show you my weld. I'm not all that proud of it, but it should hold. And if it doesn't, like I said, I just take it apart and do it again. Let's take a look.
It certainly isn't a pretty weld. I did grind it pretty good, but I didn't weld all that great. So what do you think? Will it hold? Well, it's time to reassemble, and when we're all done, let's hope the weld holds.
Hey, started everything up. It held okay. The last one didn't leak. First one, I didn't get it quite tight enough. I guess the weld, you know, doesn't look all that bad. Maybe I'll get some paint, some Kubota paint. I got to go up and get a filter for it anyhow. I'm going to change the oil and everything else while I have it down today. I greased it here last week. My son's been using this a lot, so I greased it up. What I learned, well, welding, I kept on trying to weld underneath. I kept on getting burnt. I even put long sleeve shirts on today. It still burns through these shirts. I guess if I was going to do a lot of overhead welding, I'd have to get one of those green jackets so I don't get burnt so bad. I did buy a new hood. It helped tremendously. I could see a lot better. So if you can see, you can weld. The other thing I learned that I didn't have the right cone on it. I had a cone that for gas, and there is a cone you use just for flux core, and you can see better because it's not nearly as big around. It just covers the hole in the tip holder, so you don't get any of that junk down where the gas comes out. So I was able to get one of those, put it on. It helped a lot too. So my first mistake was thinking that my weld will hold, and unfortunately I just have a wire feeder that has a flux core, and it just didn't get hot enough to really penetrate, so it cracked again almost right away. So I had to grind it all out. Now I took it down the road. There's a guy that fixes welds. He does a lot of welding. He fixes car frames, so he was willing to weld it up for me. I did all the grinding, took it down there. He put a nice bead on it for 50 bucks, so hopefully it's going to be well worth the 50. And then I just got done repainting it. It looks a lot better. I will try to zoom in and show it to you here, but it does look a lot better, and that's my fault. I don't think I had my heater, or my flux core machine just doesn't get hot enough to really penetrate and make it stick real well. And what he was talking about, if this cracks again up through here, he'll just put a piece of tubing across here, re-weld this and weld a tubing in just to reinforce it. So hopefully I don't have to worry about it again, but I guess we'll see. As you can see, I'm not afraid to show my mistakes. With any repair, sometimes you redo the repair to make it maybe a little bit better, or your modifications weren't exactly what you want them to be. So that's what I did in this situation, and I want you guys to learn with me. The mistakes that I made may help you even design a better way. So don't be afraid to show your mistakes. Mistakes are nothing more than part of the learning process. So once again, I do appreciate your time. I want to thank you for viewing. Thank you for your time. And if you can, please help this old man out by liking and subscribing and ring that bell and share and all those nice things that help my channel grow. So once again, this is the old man with the plan, and I'll see you later.